cause I'm stomping on them bitter ones.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome back once again to Vicious Rants. And of course, I'm your host, your YouTube messiah, and often imitated, never duplicated superstar Tim Vicious. And going over Raw this week, it was in the ThunderDome. Hard to believe, and pretty soon, in about a month's time, I'm going to be getting to say shows were in different cities again. God damn, I've missed that. Before we get into the show, talk about last week's stuff. Big news that happened literally the day after last week's episode recorded, June 2nd. WWE wound up doing 6 cuts, some of which were big shockers, some were, well, can't say I'm too surprised, but I really wasn't expecting. I didn't want them to go. The ones that were big shockers: Aleister Black, Lana, Ruby Riott, and the ones more so most notably, also out of them all, Braun Strowman. Yeah, Braun Strowman got fucking cut, man. I couldn't believe that, you know. And, you know, a lot of people give Braun a lot of shit because he called out indie guys back in the day saying, oh, well, if you can't afford it, maybe you should get a better job. Listen, I get it. Y'all didn't like that shit. You can make arguments for pro and against all you damn want. The man was speaking from his personal experience, saying that, you know, when he was doing strongman, he only had 150 to his name, and he wasn't making ends meet. He got into wrestling via Mark Henry seeing him, and then he started being able to afford living. That's what he was getting at. And I'm not saying I'm for what he said or against what he said. I'm fucking indifferent. I'm like fucking Sweden, man. I'm neutral on that shit. Other names that were released were Murphy as well as Santana Garrett. Now, some may not know who Santana Garrett was. She was only on during NXT for like mostly jobber matches, and you know, but I followed her stuff in indies, and when she was running around for a quick cup of coffee and Impact, she's a damn good talent, you know. And call duck a duck and a spade, they were all good talents. However, doesn't necessarily always mean the end. Case in point, look at Drew McIntyre. He got let go. Everyone was up in arms and furious. Oh my God, they let Drew go. Why would they do that? He was such a good talent. You know what? Yeah, he was a damn good talent. But he wasn't anywhere near where he needed to be. So, he got let go. He did, just like what Braun said, he took it as a challenge to go and improve himself. So he went out, got fucking jacked, wound up becoming a pissed off, angry Scotsman, took over the independent scene, became Evolve champion, then TNA Impact champion, then NXT champion, and then world champion. So yeah, getting fired doesn't always mean the end of the world. Whatever happens to them, honest to goodness, I hope nothing but the best. As much of an asshole as I am, you know, and let's all face facts, yes, I am an asshole, and I have no bones about it, I can admit that. I'm also a people person. I hope for nothing but the best in people, even the ones that I don't like. That's one of the reasons why I'm an asshole, because as much as I despise people, I also want them to do good. It's a contradiction. Moving forward, now that we're done talking about the news, let's switch gears and talk about last week via the SmackDown Rewind and the big highlights from last week's SmackDown. The Usos called their shot. They called their shot just like Babe Ruth. Pop shot all the way down in center field. They're going to win the tag titles off the Mysterios. Roman looks at them. You calling a shot? You got this? Alright. Go prove it to me. They lose via schmaz kind of finish. Shoulder was up. Ref didn't see it, so they get a rematch at the end of the night. Just as they were about to lose again, Roman steps in. Fuck that shit. Goes to town and then beats Dominic like the redheaded stepchild, and you just hear Jay yelling, "Let him go, Uso, let him go. Let him go, man. He learned his lesson, man." And then it ends like that. Other big things that happened on SmackDown: Kevin Owens got his Intercontinental rematch with Apollo Crews. Crews won. Now, before the match happened, General Aziz beat Owens up backstage in the locker room area because General Aziz is banned from ringside. Either way, Apollo Crews got the win. Nakamura wound up getting the crown. Corbin won against Nakamura, but Nakamura still got the crown. And yeah, and I can't argue on that feud, honest to goodness, because again, we step into the Wayback Machine. Tyson Kidd and Yoshitatsu had a feud over which of their action figures looked better. Fucking God knows how many times, even before I was even born, there were wrestling storylines involving two wrestlers fighting over the right to have insert female name here as their manager. Or even yet, probably the one that I laugh at the most, Bret Hart feuding with the Pirate because the Pirate stole his jacket. Which, honestly, I don't blame Bret. I'd be pissed off if somebody stole my jacket too. You know, more to the point, somebody tried taking my vest once and, well, they just got out of the ICU. Moving forward. So yeah, other than that, that was pretty much the big highlights. Other than, and I'm not saying this because I'm glossing over it, but my memory's fucked up. One too many shots to the head. Bianca and Bayley are getting set up for another rematch at Hell in a Cell as well. Now with that said, let's get into this week's show. It starts off with the Tag Team Battle Royale. And 6 teams in there. You got the Viking Raiders, the New Day. You got RK Bro. And then you have Lance Dorado representing Lucha House Party all by himself. You have Mason T-Bar, which again, my biggest regret about Mason T-Bar, Mace isn't being known as Dio Madden anymore because, honest to goodness, anime fan here. This is the anime fan in me. Just imagining New Day, Xavier Woods fighting him and then just going all like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure yelling, Dio! At him. That's it. If you don't get the reference, go and find JoJo's Bizarre Adventures. Watch it, you'll understand. And then the last entry was Johnny Nitro Morrison Mundo Impact Esquire the 23rd because, you know, The Miz, even though him saying he's injured, he's legit injured, you know, you could see the knee brace underneath his pant leg. You know, you get a keen eye for detail on these things, you see it. He's got a stabilizing brace on. They're saying they need another team in there, so Johnny, insert name here, volunteers to represent Miz and Morrison. He goes in solo as well, which, when you think about it, the rules for this tag team battle royal, both team members need to be eliminated. So, by that argument, Grandman Lance Dorado and Johnny Nitro, they had the advantage because, well, Miz is in a chair, and he can't get in the ring to be eliminated, and Grand Metalik's out with a short-term injury. No details on that. So, you know, that's like saying, why wasn't Zach Gowen in the Royal Rumble when he was employed there? Because both feet have to hit the ground. He's got one leg. He's got the advantage. Just saying. Either way, Either way, it was pretty short-lived. The big story on it was Randy and Riddle RK Bro, and well, hell is officially frozen over because now we got RK Bro shirts, and again, ugh. As much as I want to not like this idea of Riddle and Randy Orton, it's growing on me. It's like hives, man. Ugh. Ugh. Blech. But yeah, it was fairly decent. Riddle got eliminated. Randy was flying solo for a bit, and then it came down to Kofi, both Raiders, and Randy. Kofi was going for a Trouble in Paradise on Randy. Riddle jumped in right out of nowhere, pushed Randy out of the way, and took that bullet for him and took that hit. And then Randy eliminated Kofi, and then the Raiders eliminated Randy, and then we got that. So, the winners of the Tag Team Battle Royal, which I did neglect to mention, that's a mulligan on my part. Your winners and new number one contenders for the Raw Tag Team titles, the Viking Raiders. Next up, we got Elias going against Jaxson, Ryker, fuck Gunner. And here's the funny part. Gunner decides to go and get a haircut, give himself an old school high and tight, and then trim his beard down to short. Okay, dude, now you just look like a really roided up Matt Cardona. Especially with the fact that you got a giant fucking bald spot in the middle of your head right here, and you got pencil thin hair up here. Like, what the fuck? You look like you're doing like a reverse Hulk Hogan hairstyle. Like, Ugh. If you think my despise and hatred for Gunner is bad, look for this asshole on Twitter. You'll appreciate it even more. At Just a Stupid Mark. His hatred for Gunner far exceeds mine. And mine and his relationship is very much so a lot like Drew Carey and Mimi's. We both love to hate each other. Fuck you, asshole, if you're watching. Now, back to the match. It was Ryker was leading early on. It was a build-up match to try and build. It was like I always mentally called them a sympathy match because it was a match meant to build sympathy, make you empathize and sympathize and want to feel for him. But yeah, I'm not gonna. No. That's like asking me to go and cheer. You know, what's next? You want me to cheer for fucking Hitler? Like, fuck. Yeah. At one point, Elias is just like, yeah, fuck this shit, and walks out, and then Ryker wins via countout, so yeah. Next up, we got number one contenders for the United States Championship match. Ricochet going against Humberto Carrillo, and Jimmy, he's ringside. His face is all plastered up, wearing a ceramic mat, wearing the acrylic mask, because last week, like I said, his nose got busted open. Yeah, it was actually broken. He had to get surgery on it, so yeah. And I give you this, though. You think about it. That kind of adds to the whole look Jimmy's been doing, you know? He wears that big coat. He looks like Brad Pitt almost from Snatch. You know, looks like, you know, got his hands wrapped up, wearing a tank, wearing the pants with the suspenders, the fedora and all that. Going out there looking like a good old-fashioned brawler. You know? And my first thought, you know, with the broken nose and that face mask on, that really adds to it. And that's not, as shitty as it was that it got fucking broke, that fucking added to it. That makes him look more like a fucking fighter. Like, damn. So, yeah. Anyways, as far as this match went, Ricochet was leading at the start. It was a decent match. It had a lot of... it it went from high spot to technical to fighting, as the commentator Jimmy Smith said, and it eventually ended in a double countout. And, you know, you could see the writing on the wall. They're building towards a triple threat match between these three at Hell in a Cell. And that's not a bad thing. No. No, because here's the thing. As much as people say, oh, WWE needs to push new talent, WWE needs to push new talent, WWE needs to push new talent. Okay, now listen up, slapdick. It's not just a simple matter of, okay, here, we're going to go and put this person here, and, oh, by the way, we're going to give him every title imaginable so that way you can love him. Because you know what? They tried fucking doing that. And guess what happened? You all fucking booed him. You all fucking booed the shit out of Roman Reigns. You know, I get it. We all have our personal likes and dislikes. We all have our wrestlers we like. We all have our wrestlers we don't. But it's not just like you can just magically put somebody out there and say, okay, now we're going to make you instantly over. No. A lot of times, they got to get over by communicating with the crowd. And I know that's extremely difficult, if not damn near impossible right now because of the way shit is. However, there's this funny little thing called the internet. And these people have these funny little things called phones that are connected to them. So God forbid, these people that are attempting to get over and be established with fans may just go out of their way to interact with fans. You know? Not just people that do fan drawings. Not just people that say, oh, hey, your match with such and such was really cool. You know? If like, plucking a random example out and say, hey, Sheamus, what's a good workout tip for trying to build shoulder strength? And then he says, oh, go and do this and this and this. That's fan interaction right there. Simple. Simple, but effective. Just saying. Next matchup, we got Brother Nero, Jeff Hardy, going against Cedric Alexander. And this had a small little bit of the underlying theme in this was Cedric's been running his mouth, talking about on how, you know, no respect for the elder statesman, this, that, and the other, blah, 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 blah. Jeff, being one of the elder statesmen, says, hold on there. Now, you want to go and disrespect the elder statesman? Step to the line, son, and I'll slap you so hard you feel like you kissed a freight train. And so we get this match. Alexander leading really good in an aggressive way. I really like seeing this. I really fucking like seeing heel Cedric. And I've been watching fucking Cedric since he was in Ring of Honor. You know, probably some of my best memories with him in Ring of Honor is with CNC Wrestling Factory. Him and Caprice Coleman. But goddamn, him doing this shit, it was just... Him doing this shit, it's the angry, you know... It's believable in a sense, you know? He was in the Hurt Business. He rose up in rank being associated with those guys. And now that he's running solo, he's thinking he's hot shit when he's not. So now he's got to go and try and show it. So yeah, as far as the match went, it was Cedric all the way up until the end when Jeff caught him in the gut, gave him a twist of fate and swanton, 1, 2, 3. So that's it. Now we come to the next match, women's tag team action. Excuse me. Nikki Cross and Nikki Cross and Asuka. Ooh, needed my heart pills for this one. Going against Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair, and this came to be because Charlotte and Rhea were squabbling and arguing with Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville backstage, saying on how, you know, about on how Charlotte wanted her loss from Nikki stricken from the records. Rhea's like, oh no, keep it. I've got nothing but respect for Nikki. I can go with her. I can work with her. I can work with anyone and all that jazz. And I'm paraphrasing, mind you. And then it was, well, how about you team up against Nikki Cross and a partner of her choosing. So she chose Asuka. And Charlotte and Rhea worked together very grudgingly, very in a I really don't want to work with you kind of way. Which is nice, because when you got two people that are set to go off against each other, you can't have them trying to be like, oh, okay, you know, I don't want to do this, but yeah, let's just get the job done so we can go home. You know, you can't do that. No, make it aggressive, make it mad, make it like, you know what? I don't fucking like you, I don't want to fucking work with you, I don't even want you in the same vicinity as me. So you know what? If I'm going to be forced to fucking work with you, I'm going to show you how the fuck you do this job. So sit down, take notes, and watch on how it's done. That's the kind of shit that they were doing, and that's what I fucking loved. Nikki Cross was the punching bag until eventually Asuka came in, got the hot tag, started cleaning up, and then Nikki came back in. Match came to an end when Charlotte and Rhea eventually started going at each other. Boom, fists are flying. Charlotte hit Rhea with a natural selection. All the while, all this is going on, you see Nikki Cross sitting over in the corner like, getting her breath like, okay, I'm gonna watch these two fucking implode. And then Charlotte does that, and she's just sitting there, staring off at the hard cam, and then next thing you know, Nikki just comes over, pins, 1, 2, 3, that's it. So, yeah. Next up, we got Mansoor going against Drew Gulak, and well, this I would say is like a let me up match, because it's the last match before the main event, and yeah, it's Mansoor against Drew Gulak, and I got nothing against either of them. I love Drew Gulak's work. His shit in Chikara was awesome and all that. Mansoor, seen some of his stuff with 205. You know, really like the kid. See a lot of potential in him. Hope for nothing but the best. That said, this match, Gulak, he was leading the pace. It was a very short-lived match, though. Mansoor got the win by countering a roll-up. 1, 2, 3. That was it. Yeah. Just when I thought I was away from it, they did another fucking roll-up. Yep, blood pressure's good. I didn't hit that breaking point yet. I'm good, folks. I'm good. You ain't gotta worry. So now we come to main event of the night. Kofi Kingston against Riddle. And this came to be because of the interaction from the Tag Team Battle Royal earlier. So yeah, had a good solid start. A lot of back and forth going throughout the entire match. And now, Woods, he was obviously down with Kofi from start to finish. Randy came down earlier on as the match was going. So, yeah, it was like, okay, Randy's just looking like, you know, I see something in this kid. I can't fucking stand him, but I see something in him. I want to fucking do something with him, but God, every time he opens his mouth, I just want to fucking staple it shut. And Randy has that look on his face, and if you've ever, any parent out there listening to this will fully understand that sentence of any times they're running their mouth and you just look, you're like, can you just staple it shut for 5 fucking minutes? Any parent can get that reference. So yeah, it was a decent match. I dug the shit out of it. It was good. Kofi got the win with the Trouble in Paradise. Like I said, that was the last match. However, the show ends with a segment, Alexa's Playground, and Alexa Little Miss Bliss. Whew! Good lordy. First the heart pills for Asuka, then for Alexa Bliss. Alexa's out there with Lily, which, again, waiting for WWE Shop to pull the trigger and start selling some Lily stuff. You know, it's not like they didn't rush or anything making the Fiend masks. It's not like they can't do the same for Lily merch, you know, little plushes. Anyways, she welcomes out Shayna Baszler. Shayna, first thing she does when she comes in, boom, knocks over the rocking horse. That wasn't necessary. Sits down, starts talking to Alexa. You know, and then said, "You owe Lily an apology." "I'm sorry, you're just a doll." Bliss snaps, goes after Shayna. Shayna throws her out and then grabs Lily, puts her foot on top, and then Lexa's just like, "Don't you do it, don't you do it." Yeah, she did it. She stomped on Lily. And then when it was like that, it was like, boom, the seal cracked, and then like the lights started flickering and all, like, it was like the final seal was broken and all hell came loose, and Bliss is just smiling and laughing then. And you see all the pyro going off everywhere. Shayna's like, "What the fuck?" And trying to run away and get away from it, trying to get out. It's like, what the hell's going on? It's just a dumb doll. That's all it was. Locked herself in a room, when barricaded herself, put couches and chairs up in front of it. You know, I was expecting almost at the point like where it was like an old cartoon cliche. Put a sofa, a chair, sink, bathroom, table, all that, and then one tiny little thing on top. Unfortunately, it wasn't that. But, so they had a mirror projection trick where Lily was in the mirror, but not behind her. In the mirror, not behind her. Shayna eventually snapped, broke the mirror, and then the show ends with the camera fading in on a busted up image of Lily in the mirror, and you hear Shayna yelling, "No!" And then that was it. It was campy. It was campy, and I fucking loved it. It was everything I fucking like when they go all out on this kind of shit for the cinematic stuff. I fucking love it. If this is WWE's send-off to doing cinematic matches, then you got tip of my hat to you on that. Bravo fucking O. I fucking loved it. Excuse me. So, with that said, that is it for this week's show, folks. So, please don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, go back, watch some of the other episodes when you can. Look for me on Twitter at Tim Vicious. Also on that Facebook gimmick, Tim Ash. If you're going to look for me on my Facebook gimmick, you know you found me on there from here, or on my Twitter. Hit me up on my Twitter at Tim Vicious, so I think I got Creep John going. Also, folks, big thank you to contributor of the show, LFC Lingerie Fighting Championship. They're a little bit of wrestling, a little bit of MMA, and a whole lot of attractive women wearing a little bit of nothing. Also, folks, thank you to my executive producer of the show, Ali Ray Ben, who did provide the music for this week's show. Make sure y'all check it out. It's out there on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, SoundCloud, all that good jazz. Details are down below. Also, folks, don't forget to follow these cool-ass cats already on the Twitter. Kenny Killer DSB_IB, Diabolica RA, Sergeant Curry Pants, and Dubs in your face. And folks, like I always tell y'all, you love me great, you hate me. Fuck you.